Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to begin this service. We ask for those that are standing to please be seated. We ask if you have a cell phone or pager, if you could turn it to the silent mode.
Okay. Hi, everybody. I inherited Flo's height, so can you see me over the podium? No. I am Lisa. I'm Flo's granddaughter, as you guys probably know. And thank you all for coming today and honoring her together with us. You write out a speech, and then your brain goes blank. Words are not going to be able to fully capture everything that that I'm feeling right now. But it's a whole lot of heartache. There are people in your life who you think will be there forever. Not because they've lived a long time, but because their presence is so powerful. Flo was my grandmother, yes. It's probably obvious in many ways. But she was also my teacher, my mirror, my guide, my partner in crime, and my best friend. Losing her this week, when I expected to have so much longer with her together, felt sudden and devastating. And my world felt turned upside down, like many of you. And I know many people will say, but she had this, long, amazing 104 years. And she did. But the longer you spend with someone, the closer you get to them, and the more attached you get, and the more used to having them in your life you are. And with someone whose existence is so core to your very being, no amount of time will ever be enough. Funny enough, the way Flo lived, you'd never guess her age anyway. For her, 104 years old was not old, not even close. Her independence and self-determination and self-reliance was a decision. To live as if she wasn't aging was a decision. And it was these choices of hers that, in my opinion, granted us the gift of her long life. This vibrant, strong-willed icon drove me to lunch just this fall. I can confirm she maintained her lead foot. She never missed a beat, even up until the end. She knew what was going on with everything and everyone as usual. Our family, her friends, the grocery store employees, neighbors in the building, her cleaning lady, her nurses who fought over her, by the way, her hair appointments that she said she had to get to on Tuesday. The list goes on. She continued to run our show with a steady and decisive hand. Flo was the center of gravity. and a force to be reckoned with. She wasn't just part of our lives. She shaped them, and she somehow managed to make it all look effortless. That was my Flo. One of my favorite things about Graham was her ability to make everyone feel like they were her favorite person. And it wasn't an act. She genuinely cared about people, she remembered the details, and she always stayed very involved. Everyone has a story about Flo, and most of them end with, wow, that woman is amazing. Flo bobbed and weaved through life, forming meaningful connections and friendships wherever she went. Growing up, I was in awe watching her do this. Warm and social and curious and kind and witty, and treating every single person with respect. She was my role model from the very start, and to be compared to her in any way is the highest honor. Flo's wisdom felt innate. She was sharp and intuitive and, frankly, usually right. And she would probably be mad that I used the word usually. But she had over a century of experience, yes, but it felt like she was just born with knowing how things should be done. Like, it was just there. There's no book she read. There's no specific thing. She just knew it. She had a simple, clean response and resolution to everything she came across, and did it with grace, even in the diciest of situations. Well planned, well thought out, perfectly poised, and ready for anything. It's always been remarkable to me how she balanced it all with such grace, but again, that was Flo. And let's take a moment for Flo's simply exquisite taste. It is to her that I owe my career. Who else could have instilled for me a love for style with the business sense to actually make it into a job? Flo knew what she liked, and her eye for design was impeccable. Her posh wardrobe, always stepping out of her house dressed to the nines, no matter if she was going to the grocery store or a fancy dinner. Her immaculate art collection, her perfectly curated home decor was the epitome of elegance and a real treat for the eyes. This talent was in her bones. Plus, she loved shopping, and let me go bananas from the age of 8, running her up and down Michigan Avenue for hours each summer and State Street each winter. She actually wore me out a few times, as Jackie lovingly pointed out. Having fun with style was our thing, and boy, did she do it well. And she also had an absolutely insane sense of thriftiness. You'd never expect a woman with such beautiful fur coats to be clipping every possible coupon from the newspaper. She had a folder. But hey, Flo is full of surprises. Side note on the style thing, I finally got her to admit this week that she did, in fact, used to dress Grandpa Irv so that they matched every time they went out, which she denied her whole life. She told me they got dressed in separate rooms. But what really set Flo apart wasn't just her brilliance or her taste. It was the way she loved. It wasn't overly sentimental or flowery. It was real. It was steady, smart, honest, and deep. She called it like it is. She challenged me when I needed it most. She told the truth even when it was hard to hear. And she always made me feel like I mattered. That no matter who was doing what or where I was in life, I was in the right place for me. Things would come in the timing they should, and that I will always be fine. That kind of love, active, engaged, relentless in the best way possible, is rare. Flo wasn't just present, and she didn't just love you. She was in your world with you to help you navigate every step of the way, invested and steady as a rock. Flo raised the bar for everyone around her, not with pressure, but by example. She was a matriarch, but not through power or anger. but through love and respect. She showed us how to show up, step up, how to do things properly, and how to take pride in doing things properly, and how to keep it all together, even when things weren't easy. She held everyone, especially herself, to the highest of standards, but she also had a grace when we fell short. She was the kind of person who made you better just by being around her. It's a strange thing to feel so full of love and heartbreak at the same time. I'd have hoped to have Flo see me sell my business and get married and have babies and have her hold them and squeeze them like she did me, and so much more. Selfishly, I want so much more time with her. And accepting that we won't get that is a tough pill to swallow. True to form, when I teared up by her bedside this week, she whispered, "Don't you cry or I'll smack you one." But I'll never forget her last words to me. They were, "You know what to look for." In people, in relationships, in life, she had already taught me everything I needed to know. She perfected the recipe for a happy, long existence. And now it's on me to rely on the intuition she helped me hone. And with her voice in my head and her love in my heart, I will. And I know all of us will. It's not lost on me how lucky we are. Flo was a rare gem, a force, a legend to behold. I am grateful for every moment with her and for everything that she effortlessly was. My strong, vibrant, beautiful, cheeky, elegant pistol Flo. The universe has some big shoes to fill from tiny high-heeled feet. Thank you.
Hi, everybody. I'm John Holicka. I'm Jackie's, I almost said wife, Jackie's husband. And Florence was my mother-in-law. Florence was many things to many people. She was a devoted wife, mother of 3, grandmother of 4, great-grandmother of 3, aunt to 2, great-aunt to 4, and this is where I fit in, mother-in-law to 3. I think I can speak for Carol today, and hopefully speaking from the heart for Stuart Levy, who isn't with us anymore, recently passed, sadly, that as the 3 members of this elite club, that we had one special lady for our mother-in-law. We were all treated as family, as full-fledged family members right from the start. My wife Jackie and I spent many vacations and holidays with the Bubeses in California, San Diego, Rancho Bernardo, in Florida, Jupiter Beach, Palm Beach Gardens, Port St. Lucie, Colorado, Colorado Springs, and of course Guffey. We looked forward to these fun times. Flo would search out all the good places to eat before we got there and make a list of places we had to try. And we tried them, and they were good. Going out to dinner with Flo and Irv became one of my favorite things to do. They liked good food, drink, and laughter. They turned me on to a lot of places, a lot of new sensations, and new experiences. When our stay was over, we'd head back to snowy Chicago, all tan and happy, and everybody would be jealous of us because we'd have such a nice New Year's out there with the Bubeses. It was a great way to start off the New Year's. After we would leave, the next lucky family group of vacationers would come in for much of the same. They loved it when Steve and Lisa made the trek to Chicago on their own for a fun-filled summer vacation. The two kids loved it so much they made it a yearly ritual. Again, fun was the word. And those were the days. Those were the best of days. I've seen and felt Flo's and Irv's love for all of us. They've helped to shape and enrich my life, as well as the lives of countless others, many of you in this room. Every one of us is better off today for our time with them. So Florence, my sweet, remarkable mother-in-law, I can't begin to tell you how much you are loved or imagine how much we're all going to miss you. Rest in peace, Floey. You were the best.
I'm one of Flo's favorite grandsons. I think there's a couple of us in contention. Growing up, Flo and Irv were my favorite people and my biggest heroes, as I imagine that they were for many of us here. They were the glue that held the family together, the family matriarch and patriarch, always at the head of the table, and everyone was there to see them. The best memories I have as a kid was with them, whether that was eating endless amounts of Italian food or grandma's brisket in the fridge while she slept, watching her sip vodka gimlets and smile lovingly at Grandpa Irv. They were the picture of love and class, but also happiness. Flo has many things. She was endlessly charming. She was super charismatic. She was intelligent, wise. As my sister noted, she was sassy and funny. There wasn't a restaurant in San Diego or in Chicago that we frequented where the servers or the owners, like Deborah Scott at Kemosabe, didn't pay homage and honor Flo. She was the kind of person that commanded a room. She drew the respect and admiration from everyone she met, and it was well-deserved. She was special. What I appreciated most about Flo was her passion and her life lessons for the things she loved, which was real estate, investing in fashion, good music and art, travel, and experiences. But most of all, for the love and for the pride she held in regards to her family, her children, her son and daughter-in-laws, her grandchildren. Flo often kept her guard up. Her warmer side sometimes was harder to access, but it was always there. Like my sister noted, she was the type of person you wanted to be better for. She drew the best out of those that she loved, and she always offered just the right amount of praise and acceptance that kept you coming back for more. Flo taught me how to balance humility and grace with the good mix of street smarts and deal making and toughness. She loved and was proud of my parents, and that made me proud of them too. I loved Flo deeply, and I am thankful that she lived a full life with nearly everything she ever wanted and every dream that she ever had coming true. Like all of us, I will miss her. There will never be another Florence Bubes. But I am happy in this moment, knowing that she lived a life as full and as rich as anyone ever could have. Thank you.
Anybody else like to say a few words?
I'm not as well prepared as my brother-in-law or my kids. And all I can think of is I'm an orphan at 73. But since we came to visit Flo and just check her out, I don't have a suit jacket for a funeral. And she left a little bit too early. I was supposed to have another trip. But what I saw when I came was all the love and caring that she got from my sisters, from my cousins and their kids, their husbands, and all the caregivers that I met. And all I saw was love. And all I feel now is gratitude for all the people that saw her through to the end and let her pass in a way that was peaceful and with dignity. And I know Asher couldn't make it today. I know he's watching on the streaming thing. And I know that Carol's mom and brother and sister are watching. And I know that everybody who could be here is here. And I just want to thank everybody for everything that they've done for my mom. I love you all.
We're going to recite the 23rd Psalm in English. It's in the service folder that you received when you arrived. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He maketh me to lie down in green pastures. He leadeth me beside the still waters. He restoreth my soul. He leadeth me in the paths of righteousness for his name's sake. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. Thou preparest a table before me in the presence of mine enemies. Thou anointest my head with oil, my cup runneth over. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I shall dwell in the house of the Lord forever. Please rise for the mourner's Kaddish. Yitkadal v'yiskadash shemei Rabbah, be'alma divrach chirutei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chai echon v'yomechon v'chayei d'chol Beit Yisrael, b'agala v'zman kariv v'imru amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mevarach la'olam elomei almaya, yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitparah v'yitramam v'yitnaseh, V'yitadar v'yitale v'yitalal, Shmei d'kuchar b'yichu. Le'ila mikol b'chata v'shirata, Tish b'chata v'nechamata, Da'amiran b'alma v'imru amen. Yehei shlom rabba min shemaya, V'chayim aleinu v'al Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'mamav, Hu yaseh shalom, aleinu v'al Yisrael v'imru amen. This concludes this service. You may return to your cars.